All right. Good afternoon and good morning, everyone, depending on where you're tuning in from. It is 2:04 Eastern. So thank you for your patience. And we're going to jump right in and get started. So thank you all so much for being with us here today. My name is Laura Carpenter, and I'm with the Office of State and Community Energy Programs at the Department of Energy, and I'll be your presenter for today. We are delighted to have you all joining us for the Energy Savings Performance Contracting Campaign Kickoff Webinar event. We are excited to share information about this new initiative with you and how we look forward to working with each of you through this initiative. Before we dive in, I want to quickly cover a few housekeeping items. All of you tuning in should be automatically placed in listen-only mode with your video off. So please submit any questions that you may have throughout today's session using the Q&A feature. And you should find that, I believe, in the bottom right hand of your screen. There may be like 3 dots that you have to select to access it. But I hope you're able to locate the Q&A feature. I also want to acknowledge and thank my colleague Daniel, who is on screen here with us. He was helping to manage this meeting today. He'll mostly be working off camera behind the scenes to answer your questions as they come in. But we will be recording the questions that are submitted so we can follow up with a response in case we are unable to get to them all today. This webinar is being recorded, and the recording and slides will be made available on the ESPC Campaign website following this event. So here's a quick look at what we are planning to cover today. We will be starting off with some welcoming remarks and DOE perspectives on why we are excited to be launching this initiative. And then I want to take a moment to level set and review what ESPC is and the benefits of performance contracting before we dive into the details of the ESPC campaign and what you can expect from joining. So to begin, I'm very delighted to introduce 2 special guests who are joining us today to welcome you all and offer their vision for this initiative. First, we have Dr. Kathleen Hogan, who is the Principal Deputy Undersecretary for Infrastructure at DOE. And then we are also joined by Dr. Henry McCoy, who is our director here in the Office of State and Community Energy Programs. We really appreciate you both taking the time to be here with us today. And now, Deputy Undersecretary, I'd like to turn it over to you.
Well, thank you. On behalf of the DOE, the Office of the Undersecretary for Infrastructure, and also the Office of State and Community Energy Programs, I really am pleased as well to welcome you to today's event. Today we are just so excited to be launching the Energy Savings Performance Contracting Campaign. We are excited really to be leaning in so we can catalyze efforts across the country to use energy savings performance contracting, or ESPCs, to help modernize our public buildings and greatly leverage the historic billions in funding from the bipartisan infrastructure and other recent laws. So as many of you know, ESPCs are really a very interesting contracting mechanism. They allow for the upfront financing needed to pay for energy efficiency upgrades and for that to be repaid by the guaranteed energy and cost savings that result from the efficiency project. And we also know these savings can help pay for non-energy improvements such as critical maintenance and operational needs. So, they really are just such a terrific fit, a powerful tool for our public buildings, which we also know, as we look across the country, are really among some of the oldest in our building stock, and really with a pretty big and growing backlog of maintenance needs. So, this really means that state and local governments, schools, hospitals, other public institutions can avoid what is the cost of inaction by really paying for today's much needed facility upgrades with tomorrow's energy savings. And they can improve energy efficiency, make these public buildings more resilient to power disruptions, and really create healthier spaces for where we learn, where we work, where we gather. And it really means these much improved buildings are within reach for our many cash-strapped communities across the country. They will be able to turn savings into a financial asset and free up funds for other important community priorities. And I think what's really exciting is now is really the time to put these savings to work. With the bipartisan infrastructure law and the Inflation Reduction Act, we truly have a historic opportunity for public institutions of all kinds to make major investments in facilities and infrastructure, investments we really can amplify through the use of ESPCs to benefit, as we know, climate, health, and economy. So again, that's why we are so excited to be here today, excited to be partnering with all of you through this campaign, and to really be partnering to achieve this very big goal of $1 billion in measured and verified savings from energy savings performance contracts. So I know you're here because you're either a leader in your community, really looking to find meaningful ways to move us towards a cleaner energy efficiency future and leveraging available resources to do that. Or you're here because you're one of the really critical resources, one of the catalysts that can help incentivize, facilitate, or deliver the solutions that can help us save energy and create these healthier, cleaner, and more resilient facilities and really help us better deploy taxpayer dollars. You know, we look at you as the movers and the shakers of the energy world, helping improve our important facilities. And again, I'm so thrilled that you're with us today. So again, whether you're here because you're interested in learning more about the ESPC campaign, or you have already joined, you are seizing the opportunity to really make a powerful difference in our communities. So with that, I want to thank you all, one, for being here today, and really thank you for your partnership in undertaking the critical work that will provide benefits across our entire nation. So again, thank you from myself. And with that, I would like to turn things over to my colleague, Dr. Henry McCoy, the Director of the Office of State and Community Energy Programs, whose office is leading this tremendous campaign. So with that, Henry.
Thanks so much, Dr. Hogan, for that introduction. I appreciate it, and we all appreciate your work. I want to thank also Laura and Daniel and everyone else from STEP who are involved in this work. It is a passionate work. I want to thank everybody here today that's taking part in this, and you know, I will make this brief because I know you came here to really get to the nitty-gritty of how to be a part of this wonderful campaign that we have, and really just so excited about bringing the benefits of you know, performance contracting to the team and this ESPC campaign, which you know, they say repeat things that you want to really drive in. And so we hope that by the time you get to the end of this webinar, that all of you decide that you want to be a part of this ESPC campaign. Some of you may know a bit about my background. I'm the former Assistant Secretary of Commerce in the state of North Carolina. So I've had the opportunity to work at the state level and also with local governments. I understand just the monumental challenge it is to sometimes move projects forward. You know, I understand that some of the legal challenges, some of the financial challenges, some of the resource constraints when it comes to energy efficiency and moving buildings forward. And oftentimes there's a lot of red tape, there's a lot of limited resources. There's also a lot of you know, prioritization sometimes, and this work sometimes does not always land at the top of the priority list, but it's still so important. So this notion of energy performance contracting is such a critical win-win for everybody. You know, ESPCs create an opportunity for energy efficiency to make its way through facility upgrades that ultimately pay for themselves. They really lift communities by bringing jobs, providing healthier buildings and just healthier environments overall. And so by working with what are called ESCOs, which are energy service companies, each of you all can find a way to implement some of these visions and goals you have for your buildings and your facilities, and these ultimately pay for themselves. So with the ESCO, they really guarantee that the energy efficiency that's done to the buildings will financially work out such that they will pay for themselves over the long term. Dr. Hogan mentioned the whole idea of how the bipartisan infrastructure law, the Inflation Reduction Act, and other efforts of this monumental time are bringing resources to bear. that have never really been in place before. Even having said that, we know that energy efficiency, which is, to a lot of folks, they say is the first fuel, really, needs to be something that we undertake all across the United States. And so it's our mission to accelerate the deployment of clean energy technologies, create local economic development, create well-paying jobs, reduce energy costs, avoid pollution, create equitable access to resources for disadvantaged, totally disadvantaged, underserved communities. And often those communities are the ones who have the biggest energy burden. And so, this gives us a great opportunity to move forth in that effort. We know that states and local governments often face this challenge as well as other institutions. When I go back into some of my earlier career days, I spent a lot of time traveling around North Carolina, across the Southeast, across the country, talking to public institutions and others about, universities, how they could take advantage of tools like this. And so we're really excited to really try to bring forth this tool as a way to amplify and impact communities, bring tax credits and other opportunities through IRA and this work such that you all can take advantage of what we know is a wonderful, wonderful tool with the Energy Savings Performance Contract. So having said that, I'll move essentially to the conclusion. I'm going to ask again, what we want you to do is when we get to the end of this webinar, we'd love for you to take part in this campaign. This is the kickoff to this campaign. We've worked very hard on it. We want to make sure that we offer everything that you need to be successful in this work. So by joining this campaign, you become a part of a national network of professionals that are thinking about how they can shape their local economies, their buildings through this work, creating infrastructure, energy efficiency, clean energy, and moving toward a modern, efficient way by which we create resilient buildings. And so this campaign really strengthens that, where we work hand in hand with states and others in partnership to really extend this, all across the United States. And so I really want to acknowledge and thank those states that have already joined the campaign. Those are Delaware, Georgia, Mississippi, and North Carolina. And we really hope that by the end of this conversation, that so many more of you all would join as well. We want to partner with local governments, school districts, higher education, healthcare, public agencies, and others to move these best practices forward. So anyway, I hope that you all can get excited about this. In a minute, I'll turn this back over to our team that will give you a bit more of the details about how to join this campaign, how to be a part of it. But I thank you all for those who tuned in today. Thank Kathleen for her kickoff again, Laura and Daniel and the others who have been a part of this work, and hope that you will sign up at the end of this webinar to be a part of this wonderful, wonderful effort. And for those again who already joined, thank you again. For those who I know will join, we appreciate your effort. And with that, I will turn it back over to Laura. Laura, take it away. Thank you all again.
Thank you so much for those wonderful introductions. We're very grateful for you making the time to be here. I know you both have very busy schedules, so thank you again. And before we proceed any further, I just want to take a moment to briefly review what ESPC is and why DOE is so supportive of it. ESPC is a proven budget-neutral contracting and financing method that is primarily used by the public sector to support energy and water efficiency retrofits, renewable energy integration, as well as other building and equipment upgrades in public facilities. ESPC customers contract with an energy service company, or ESCO, to design and implement the project, and the ESCO guarantees the energy savings and performance of the new equipment. ESPCs are implemented using funds such as capital budget or grants or financing that is obtained by the customer, and repayments are made from the realized energy and cost savings over the contract term. These savings are then fully captured by the customer organization once all the financing payment obligations have been met, as you can see in the rightmost column at the bottom of the screen. The most recent study that Lawrence Berkeley National Lab conducted on this market on the use of ESPC found that over $5 billion in ESPC projects were conducted in 2018, with over 70% of that work being done by projects in the among non-federal public entities. So this is a well-used tool. However, Lawrence Berkeley Lab also found that there is up to 208 billion in remaining investment opportunity to improve the efficiency and condition of non-federal public buildings. So there's a significant remaining opportunity to scale up from 5 to 208 billion, to scale up the amount of ESPC work that's being conducted. ESPC offers many economic and other benefits. So under tight capital budgets, the ability to pay back the upfront financing for a project from the future energy savings allows more retrofit projects to move forward than might otherwise. And when customers are able to contribute funds to a project, ESPC also has a leveraging effect that can expand the amount of project scope those funds can buy when compared to just paying for a project outright. Building owners can use ESPC to address deferred maintenance, improve occupant health and comfort, reduce energy costs and emissions, and integrate energy security and resiliency. ESPC projects also support economic development by creating jobs and spurring local investment in materials and equipment. So although ESPC has many benefits, it can be complicated and challenging to execute. And there are many state-specific or institution type specific nuances to navigate. And so that is why we're launching the ESPC campaign. So let's segue over to the campaign itself. The ESPC campaign is a national initiative that engages states, local governments, schools, universities, hospitals, and other market stakeholders to support, expand, and enhance the use of ESPC to achieve significant energy, environmental, and cost savings across the public sector. Through this initiative, DOE will work with our partners to increase awareness of the benefits of performance contracting and to share practical resources and best practice approaches that will strengthen ESPC and measurement and verification knowledge and understanding and build confidence across the public sector. This will include working with our state partners to strengthen and extend the reach of state-level ESPC technical assistance programs to drive long-term sustainable impact. Campaign partners will also seize this opportunity to learn and demonstrate how to maximize the impact of funding and financing resources, including those stemming from the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law and Inflation Reduction Act, through the leveraging effect of ESPC. And importantly, partners will track and demonstrate the impact of their ESPC investments by contributing to a national database of ESPC project and measurement and verification data. This national source of ESPC project and performance data will help states and other ESPC users demonstrate the benefits of this approach to legislative or other authorities and their stakeholders, and support the identification of future energy savings opportunities and facilitate data-driven decision-making. Together, all ESPC campaign partners will contribute to the collective savings goal of reaching 1 billion in measured and verified savings from ESPC. So this goal is framed around the cornerstone of an ESPC contract, which is the savings guarantee. The ESPC campaign will provide technical assistance and resources to support partners over the next 5 years. So partners are welcome to join at any point throughout the year. However, we strongly encourage partners to join earlier in the year to maximize opportunities to participate in our training series, which will be delivered on an annual basis, as well as to benefit from other technical assistance opportunities. In addition to gaining access to technical assistance and ESPC resources and tools from DOE, ESPC campaign partners share experiences and lessons learned and support each other in implementing best practice approaches for ESPC programs and projects. ESPC campaign partners demonstrate the impact of their projects and programs using data from post-installation measurement and verification, and leverage the national platform of the ESPC campaign to showcase achievements and receive recognition for exemplary practices. Finally, ESPC campaign partners become part of a growing network of leaders and professionals experienced in using ESPC who are prepared and ready to keep building on the momentum from this campaign to continue to make transformative investments in communities nationwide. So this slide provides an overview of the technical assistance resources that are available to partners through this initiative. As you can see, we have quite an expansive list of ways that DOE endeavors to support partners' ESPC efforts. DOE will offer a series of live instructor-led trainings on ESPC and measurement and verification that will be delivered annually. And then interspersed between these trainings, we will offer webinars on various topics that are responsive to partners' interests and also featuring partner insights and solutions. We will offer periodic office hours to give our public sector partners the opportunity to connect with an ESPC expert to ask questions or to help identify helpful resources. And we will have peer exchange opportunities to have facilitated dialogue with similar organizations across the country, as well as those using ESPC in your geographic area. DOE will also engage with our state partners to provide targeted, direct support in establishing and strengthening their state ESPC programs. Finally, we will develop a one-stop shop resource library on our ESPC campaign website to ensure that all of DOE's resources are easily accessible, point you to the right links, the right locations. I know it can be difficult to find stuff throughout the network of DOE websites. And we'll also include on there new resources that we will develop through this initiative, including the supporter directory, which will be a resource for our public sector partners to utilize, to leverage, to network with market stakeholders and industry professionals to tap their outside expertise and identify potential collaborators. So all of our ESPC campaign partners will contribute to this collective campaign goal of reaching 1 billion in measured and verified energy and cost savings. This will be done by sharing MNV data with DOE so that we can aggregate results and track progress towards the savings goal. This data can be most easily shared with DOE through eProject Express, which is a web-based platform developed by DOE and managed by Lawrence Berkeley National Lab that was designed specifically to support state and local governments in their management of ESPC projects and portfolios, and to facilitate reporting on and safeguarding ESPC project data. So you can see here an example of some of the fields that are available to track ESPC performance and outcomes in the eProject Express platform. So we've been talking a lot about partners. We have 3 categories that ESPC campaign partners can fall into. Campaign leaders are the state energy offices or other organizations that provide ESPC oversight and technical assistance to other public sector entities in a particular state. So campaign leaders will partner with DOE through this initiative to raise awareness of the benefits of ESPC and encourage other public institutions to join the campaign. Campaign leaders also offer localized resources and support for ESPC and will work with DOE to strengthen and expand their programs to serve others and provide ongoing ESPC technical assistance beyond the duration of this campaign to have facilitate those sustainable long-term impacts. ESPC champions are state and local agencies and other institutions that join the ESPC campaign to connect with DOE, as well as peers to share resources, experiences, and demonstrate the impact of their ESPC projects. Any interested public institution may join this initiative as an ESPC champion. You do not need to have a campaign leader already signed up in your state in order to join the ESPC campaign. Campaign leaders and ESPC champions are all able to access the full suite of ESPC campaign technical assistance. And that would include any member of your organization. So not just the, signatory official on the partner agreement or the designated point of contact. If your institution has signed up as a partner, you can invite any person within your organization to attend our ESPC trainings, webinars, and other opportunities. Supporters are industry professionals and other market stakeholders who embrace the goals of the campaign and support best practice approaches for ESPC, including the importance of M&V and the use of eProject Express. Supporters partner with the ESPC campaign to drive awareness and uptake of ESPC, showcase examples of successful ESPC implementation, and promote the ESPC campaign as a resource for public sector entities to join and come get neutral DOE third-party education and tools around ESPC. I'm seeing a lot of messages popping up, so I hope you're all able to find the chat feature and the Q&A feature, and as I mentioned, we will circle back to those if we're not able to address them all today. So keep putting those questions in the Q&A. All right, so I'd like to take a moment now to welcome our partners who have already joined this campaign. Thank you all for leading the way and sharing your enthusiasm for this initiative. We're really excited to work with you to support strong ESPC projects and programs and to help you achieve great things and meet your own efficiency, environmental, and economic goals. We are excited to have some campaign supporter organizations with us today who have given us great feedback through the development of this initiative with respect to their members and how the campaign can advance their efforts to improve efficiency and modernize infrastructure. And so we'd like to take this opportunity to invite their perspectives on the campaign and the opportunities ahead. And so I am very pleased to begin by welcoming David Terry, President of the National Association of State Energy Officials, which represents the governor-designated energy officials from each of the 56 states and territories. So David, I will turn it over to you.
Thanks, Laura. Thanks for joining everybody today. We're pretty excited about this launch. I want to thank, first of all, DOE, National Association of Energy Services Companies, Energy Services Coalition, and especially the states for all of their efforts to advance public facility energy efficiency and energy retrofits through energy savings performance contracting and other public-private partnership efforts. A special thank you to Dr. McCoy and Laura for having seen this initiative through from idea to today's launch and for everybody's input and help. I think many of the state energy offices across the country have been leading by example with their public facilities retrofits for many years. We have a some 20-year partnership with NAESCO, ESC, and the Department of Energy on these activities in many of the states. And we delivered billions of dollars in energy improvements over that time span and beyond. I think what's important about this new initiative, it brings visibility, tools, momentum, and a really great way, I think, to mark the progress that we're making. I also think that the particular goals that we in the department and our partners have developed for this are meaningful and hopefully useful to the states and local governments to report back to their leadership on what they've accomplished. We've seen energy offices over the decades leverage U.S. state energy program dollar funds, state funds, private financing all together to accomplish these goals. On the NASIO side, we'll be working with DOE and the other partners to answer questions, to help support in any way we can. NASIO has a financing committee that is co-chaired by Texas and Montana and led by Sam Kramer of NASIO staff to also help answer questions and guide you with DOE's help and our partners' efforts. I hope you'll all consider joining this campaign, leveraging the resources you have. We know you're all very busy, but I think this is such a win-win to achieve the $1 billion share in verified savings goals. I just think emphasizing the importance of this in delivering not only more efficient, cost-efficient, energy-efficient buildings, but more resilient buildings, more resilient facilities, better use of the taxpayer funds, all things we want to achieve. And I think in particular, so many of the energy offices are also great pathways to engage their local governments. And so I think this is just a tremendous positive for virtually any state in the country to participate in. And again, just want to lend our support in any way we can. Please feel free to reach out to us. And I'm going to turn it back to Laura for our next presenter and comments. And again, just to thank you, Laura. This has been a lot of work to get it this far. I know the hard work, but maybe the fun work is ahead. So thank you.
Thank you so much, David, for being here with us. I really appreciate your thoughts and encouragement to your members for participating in this ESPC campaign. And then next, I would like to introduce Tim Unruh, Executive Director of the National Association of Energy Service Companies. Hello, Tim.
Laura, thank you so much. And and Laura, thank you for all the effort that you and the DOE team has put into this initiative. I know that there's a lot of work going into this thing to make this all successful. And I know we've worked behind the scenes to help coordinate it. So I just want to thank you for taking the time and making this happen and for putting on the webinar today. As the executive director of the National Association of Energy Service Companies, my members, the energy service companies, or ESCOs, as we like to be called, will perform much of the installation work of those doing projects for this initiative or the campaign. We see the campaign providing more visibility to energy savings performance contracts. These contracts are improving government facilities nationwide, from K through 12 schools to state and local governments and universities, and even in federals as well. They're quite prominent across the United States. This challenge will provide support and tools for these facility managers to make improvements in energy efficiency, indoor air quality, indoor comfort, and generally it just improve the working conditions inside our buildings for those people working inside these buildings. By focusing on gathering the data in eProject Builder, we'll develop a long-term knowledge base of project performance, which will further bolster the case supporting these types of contracts. We at NASCO look forward to working with you to help make this a success. When I look at all the things happening with Department of Energy, I made a list of what I see Department of Energy doing to support performance contracts. There's this campaign to begin with, but there's also the model contracts. So these are standardized contracts that Department of Energy has created so that if a state, a school district, somebody wants to do a performance contract, they can draw those contracts out. There's an owner's representative program available where people can be trained to be owner's representatives that will help a state or local government or K-12 schools do these projects. You've mentioned several times eProject Builder, a great database for storing the data so that we can understand what's happening, know what the benefit of these projects are. There's also the Performance Contracting National Resource Center, which you alluded to earlier. There's just so many different things out there. And then there's the ability to leverage in this assistance that you provide really breaks these a well-rounded project. And I know many times when people start these projects, they're a little bit intimidated to get started with them because they say, oh, there's so many things to consider. But now DOE has offered some office hours, some assistance through all these different programs to help someone get through. And I know I look at the supporters list you have here. I can even see some of the members of my organization, Energia and 2KB, listed here already. NV5, HASI, those are all members of NASCO that want to help and then train as well. So we've got quite a bit of showing already of people that want to help you put these projects together, that know how they work and can provide that support that you need to make them successful.
Thank you so much, Tim. And thank you for pointing out those other DOE resources that we do have. So our ESPC model documents, these template contracts, we have an owner's representative training. We have, other resources coming out of the Performance Contracting National Resource Center. And so I appreciate you bringing those to light and mentioning those. And those will all be tools and resources that we will be weaving into our our trainings and webinars through this ESPC campaign to really speak to how folks can take those tools and run with them. So thank you for bringing those up. And now to round us out, I would like to introduce Doug Taylor, the Executive Director of the Energy Services Coalition, which is a public-private partnership dedicated to providing education on and supporting the use of energy savings performance contracting. So Doug, I'll pass the floor to you.
Thanks, Laura. And to add to what some of my colleagues and others have said already on the webinar, we really applaud the Department of Energy for establishing this goal and undertaking this focused initiative. There are a number of tools and resources that have been made available over the years through the Department of Energy and through states. This effort really provides, this initiative and campaign provides some focus, an achievable target for these local governments, for states, to move their projects forward through ESPC through the ESPC mechanism. The Energy Services Coalition, as Laura mentioned, is a public-private partnership. We're a nonprofit organization. We're comprised of both end user facility managers at the state and local level, as well as the energy services companies themselves, engineers who do project review work, owner's rep work, et cetera, all pointing in the same direction to try to retrofit more buildings through the ESPC mechanism. We expect we'll have an active role in this campaign as things move forward. The reality is that the landscape for ESPC varies by state. There may be different state enabling legislation that is nuanced. So the local chapters that the ESC supports can help overcome some of the perceptions, information challenges, and hurdles so that projects can move forward in the right way and achieve the objectives that everyone's after. So with that, Laura, I'll turn it back to you, but we look forward to being an active partner in this campaign as things move forward, and it's been a pleasure to work with you to this point.
Thank you so much, Dub, and also David and Tim. Thank you all for being here today to support this initiative and for supporting it in its developmental stages. We're really happy that you were able to join today to share your perspectives and insights on how ESPC and the campaign can benefit your members as well as the broader market. Okay, so we have just a couple of more slides before we wrap up today. First, I'm very excited to share some of the upcoming ESPC campaign activities and resources for our partners. Next week, we will be reaching out with an amplification toolkit to help our partners announce your participation in the campaign and let others know about this opportunity. So be on the lookout for that in your inboxes. Coming in February, we will have a webinar that will provide an introduction to the eProject Express platform, as well as feature a guest speaker, a sustainability director who will offer their own experience and lessons learned in implementing ESPC. And we will also be scheduling one-on-one meetings with our campaign leader partners. So I will be in touch soon to get those scheduled. In March, we have another webinar lined up to examine how the Inflation Reduction Act, bipartisan infrastructure law, and other incentives can support ESPC projects. And then April marks the start of our live training series, which will continue through the rest of the year. So if you're watching today and you're interested in joining the ESPC campaign, I highly encourage you to join prior to April so you can maximize your opportunities to participate and benefit from the trainings. Also in April is our Better Buildings, Better Plants Summit. DOE is hosting this in Washington, D.C. The summit brings together leaders from the federal, commercial, industrial, public, and multifamily sectors to share best practices in water and energy efficiency, decarbonization strategies, resiliency, and emerging trends and technologies. In addition to the conference sessions, we will be holding a public sector meetup and happy hour. So this is a great opportunity to connect with other current or future ESPC campaign partners. More information about these events and future campaign activities will be shared in a monthly ESPC campaign newsletter. You can subscribe using the QR code you see on your screen, but all of our current partners should already be subscribed. Please feel free to forward this registration link or the newsletter to any of your colleagues or others that you think would be interested in learning more about campaign activities and participating. Okay, finally, we want to conclude today's webinar with a call to action, which is to reach out to sign up or learn more about the ESPC campaign. You can contact the DOE team through an expression of interest form that is found on the ESPC campaign website, or by emailing us at the address you see listed here. Also, if you've noticed a campaign leader in your state, feel free to reach out to them to learn more, or if you've been discussing this campaign with one of our supporters, they're also here to help answer your questions about this initiative and encourage you to come and join us. So I know that we have a few minutes left. So Daniel, I would like to ask if you would like to share any of the questions that have been coming in. We can address some questions live, perhaps, the more common ones.
Yeah, no, thank you very much to our guest speakers for their insights today. And thank you all for providing questions. I'll continue to try to answer some of those in the Q&A. But some of the kind of common questions that we've gotten directly have been, does the DOE ESPC campaign offer monetary awards or financial assistance for these projects? If you could answer that for us, Laura.
That is a great question. So the ESPC campaign will not be offering any direct financial assistance to support ESPC projects, and nor will we be able to provide project-specific financial advice or tax guidance. However, the campaign will provide training on ESPC processes and best practices, and offer guides, tools, case studies, and opportunities to learn about financing options and strategies for an ESPC project. If that helps.
Yeah, that's great. I guess another one that we've had pop up recently is related to the measurement and verification plan for the ESPC campaign. So we have some users that have a different platform other than eProject Express that we recommend that records their own kind of project level M&V data. So are they allowed to use their own existing platform, or do they have to use the eProject Express platform for the campaign? If you have any insights into how we can kind of work with both of those options.
Sure, thank you. So we strongly recommend eProject Express for the ease of use and integration into this ESPC campaign. However, it is not required. So our primary ask of our public sector partners is to submit 4 years of M&V data in order to help us all achieve the collective ESPC campaign goal of 1 billion in measured and verified savings. If you are already using another platform to record this data, we are happy to work with you to kind of pull out the key metrics that you would like to report on for this initiative. Or we can provide the eProject Express reporting template to have you enter that information. But if you don't have a platform in place, we strongly encourage adopting eProject Express, because this does provide a place to manage your data and your project files in perpetuity. So this is a great place to kind of compile all ESPC resource information in a go-to spot. Can really stand the test of time through staff turnover, through different projects with different companies. You're going to have access to all of your ESPC portfolio information in one place. But again, not required, just strongly encouraged.
And it looks like we have a quick follow-up on the EPX or the M&V kind of project goal savings data here. So Cecilia asked, is the $1 billion goal a target just for energy savings, or does it also include operations and maintenance savings for our overarching goal here?
Fantastic question. So this will include anything that is allowable within your jurisdiction. So if your state allows operations and maintenance savings and has a process for verifying those, then that is permissible. So this is going to be energy and cost savings, and it will be based on your local regulations.
Great. And then it looks like we have a few questions about uh, either recognition or kind of finding the other people around your states or kind of similar peers when you actually join the campaign. So with that, Chris asked, how do we find the campaign leaders in our state? And some others mentioned that they've already signed up, but they weren't exactly shown on the slide deck that we've provided today. So will they be able to show up on a website perhaps, or some of our other offerings? How will we show some of these kind of recent signatories?
Okay. Yes. So I hope I don't miss the first half of your question, but I'm very sorry if we did miss anybody. We will be updating our ESPC campaign website to list all of our campaign leaders, ESPC champions, and supporter organizations. I had hoped that that page would go live today, so it should be live this week. And we will be updating that regularly. Probably once or twice a month as we're getting going here. So you can utilize that list to identify other participants or other partners of the campaign that are of similar institution type or in your geographical area to connect with each other and encourage others to join as well.
Yeah, and then for others that are still considering this campaign, we've had some questions stating that they're interested in learning more about ESPC, but their organizations don't currently have a project in the works. Are they still able to join this campaign?
Absolutely. So we're looking to engage partners across all experience levels that are interested in learning more or supporting the use of performance contracting. So many partners that are joining have ESPC projects that are in the works, or they manage an ESPC program. You may have a project that you've completed in the past, and now you're looking to do a new one, and maybe you have a new team that you're working with. So even though you have some institutional history doing ESPC, it could still be beneficial to join this campaign to kind of get the rest of your new team members up to speed. So partners that are joining come to us from all across, the experience levels and also steps in the process. So we encourage you to join to learn more and use this to help you get started with your performance contracting.
Yeah, great. And kind of building off of that, for those that are planning on signing up or have already signed up, how do we kind of see participation throughout the duration of this campaign? Is there any kind of guidance that we can provide people, knowing that this is set up for 5 years, but there are obviously different kind of offerings that we'll provide regularly?
Yeah, absolutely. So this campaign is here to support you all in achieving your objectives and achieving, energy, environmental and cost savings. So we encourage you to join as early as possible, but we recognize that, there may be folks that aren't tuning in today that aren't even considering ESPC yet and will in a couple of years. So that's where, we have the 5-year opportunity to come and learn more. The trainings will repeat on an annual basis. And so it may be beneficial to kind of take some of those trainings now to better understand the foundations of ESPC. And maybe you repeat a training next year when you're ready to dig in a little bit deeper. We also will be, cycling through new topics for webinars over the entire period. There's going to be opportunities for you to showcase your projects that you are undertaking. And so we really want to keep you a part of this initiative for the full 5 years and have you come to learn at the beginning and then speak to some of your successes towards the end, if that's how the cycle works out for you, or if you are, very experienced in ESPC right now or running an ESPC program. We want to hear from you earlier in the process and weave you into our campaign events and webinars so we can share your experiences and recommendations with others. And then that goes to the peer exchanges as well. The larger this network becomes, the better the wealth of knowledge and opportunities to network and make those connections. And so we hope that you tune in as needed, but also that you are you find value in participating and joining these campaign activities. All right, I think we might have time for one more question, Daniel.
Yes. Okay. So it looks like some people have started to get a head start on trying to sign up for this campaign. So one of the questions that I've gotten privately is who in my organization should sign this partnership agreement? It looks like, there are some differences for who should be signing within an organization.
Got it. All right. So the partner agreement does ask for a signature from an executive officer or a proper signatory official that is capable of signing or committing your entire organization to this voluntary initiative. So this primary point of contact may differ depending on your organization type, and I'm happy to talk to anybody who wants to reach out with more details one-on-one. And please note that the signatory official does not need to be the same person as the primary point of contact. So the partner agreement will ask you to designate a primary point of contact for us to communicate with. But as I mentioned previously, that does not preclude anybody from your organization from attending these events. We want you to forward, once your organization is signed on, your organization is signed on. So share this information with your colleagues, have them sign up for the newsletter and invite them to our trainings, webinars, and peer exchanges and so on. We just need a primary point of contact and one signatory official, but we really want to have organizations participate as a whole. All right. Well, with that, we're running out of time. So I just want to say once again, we encourage you to join. We look forward to hearing from you. We're so excited to partner with all of you. Thank you to all of our guest speakers who are able to join us today. That concludes our kickoff webinar. We will be in touch regarding any questions that weren't able to be answered. Once again, thank you all for tuning in and have a great rest of your day and the rest of your week.